once you believe it. Once you believe it, then you can achieve it. And if you ever fall on your back,
What if
as Les
you're
Brown
calling the right number?
says, you give me the right number.
And I gave it to you. Oh, it's ringing now.
All right.
Uh-huh.
So, stalking. Have you ever been stalked? Have you ever had somebody send you messages or you see the person popping up in your space from time to time? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, how are you feeling this morning? What's up?
Oh, a little stressed.
Hi, it's Crystal and Crash from the Wake Up Call on Extreme 104 SVG. Welcome.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So we saw a couple posts that you made on Facebook, but we want to allow you to share the story. Could you take us back to 2019?
Okay. So, in 2019, my daughter's father passed away, and shortly after that, I was at work, and my daughter came to my workplace, and when she came to my workplace, I don't know, I can't remember what happened, but I began to search her bag. She was 6 years old at that time. And when I searched her bag, I found a cupcake in a plastic bag. And I inquired, where she got it, because the school did not inform me that they had a party or anything, and I don't give my child money to buy bread. I would normally pack everything for her. So she told me that she went to follow one of her friends to buy bread, and this guy gave her a cupcake and told her, "Don't tell me about it." So she said that she was a bit hesitant, and he was pushing it on her, and she said she took it, she put it in her bag. So upon finding the cupcake, I really get down hard, and she was like, "But mommy, you know him," and she began to describe him to me. And he even said, that me and your mommy is friends and stuff. And I was doing a client here at that time, and, I was really furious because I know me and this guy is not friends. We don't even have a conversation. I've never said hello to this guy. So, I left the client here and I came to shop because I know where he's living. He's not living too far from me. And when I reached shop now, he was not at home. Nobody was at home. I know of a relative of his, and I told him about the incident, and he was like, I must do what I want. I went to his father. His father said he's not responsible for him, and he don't want to have nothing to do with him. I went to the police station, and I made a complaint. So they said that because he didn't physically did anything to my child, the most that they can do is warn him. Well, I'm not sure if they want him or not. That died down for a while. And then he picked back up after a couple months. And, he started to show up at my workplace because I have already made persons around me, about this guy and my situation and stuff. And he would just randomly pop up at my workplace and just look in, watch me. And by the time I noticed that it was him, he would have already disappeared and stuff. And I remember one incident where my daughter and her friends was outside playing outside my workplace on a balcony, and for some reason I just look up in the mirror because my coworker would tell you, I don't pay attention who is outside. And when I look in the mirror, I just glimpse somebody and I rush outside, and I said, "Maybe I'll come inside," and he just walk, pretend like he's bending down, tying his shoelace and doing something, watch me in my face, and I walk off. I went back to the police station, and the police told me that, they say anything to you? I said no. They said, well, they can't do anything because, he could have been going by another business place, which I had inquired about, and I know it's me he came to look for, but this guy is so smart because I know he's not crazy. And my other friend told me that he just come asking for guineas, she don't even sell guineas. And that died down, and previous to all that, this all started with my sister, where my sister was being stalked, going to the gym. He even showed up at my sister's workplace at one point where he was actually removed by police. My sister made a complaint, and the police took a statement, and I don't know what become of that. Um, Fast forwarding to on the weekend, on Sunday, I was going through my Facebook profile, and I noticed that I saw a friend request from somebody because, mind you, I didn't even know that his right name was Kylie Richards. I know him as Cat. I deleted, and when I was going through Messenger, I saw somebody send me like 42 messages. So immediately, knowing that I'm a business, and I said, what is most likely trying to get onto me? When I listened to one of the voice notes, I recognized that it was the same guy. So I scrolled to the top. And from the top of the voice note, this guy knows my every move, knows when I'm home alone. He could tell me about my daughter. He could tell me what time I come in, if I can't stay home. He even made sexually remarks about my daughter where he has to masturbate about her. He would literally go through my Facebook profile and look for my child and masturbate in order for him to sleep. And, I kill my child's father so that me and he could be together. And he has been taking care of my daughter since she was small. And I was really, distracted, so stressed. I immediately went to the police because I was like, this is concrete evidence. I went to the CID and they took my statement and they told me to come back the Monday, and which was yesterday. So when I went back yesterday, the guy at the IT department, he took the stuff them off my phone. I went back to CID and I was like, what's gonna happen now? And
so they're working
they told me,
So they're working on it.
Well, they say they would call me when they have more information. And at that point, I started to cry. I felt like a place where I supposed to come and feel some kind of justice and feel so secure. I felt like I should have just stayed at home.
Because you provided all of this information, and that's what they're telling you. It's like there's no hope there. Are you just gonna tell me?
Yeah, we call you about it. We know who the person is. We call you about it. And I was like, just so. And because my child father was a police, I kind of believe in my heart, this gonna be dealt with swift because of police, and my daughter is known among them, and I was always say my daughter is, one of them. And the way how they blow it up, I felt like I was going to get a mental breakdown. I don't even know how it feels to get a mental break, but it put me in a kind of state where I couldn't even compose myself, and I started to cry. And I'm leaving the station, I turned back and I said, I'm going to the head. Somebody must understand, my frustration and what I'm going through. And but I went to speak to the commissioner, the lady. They told me that, he's not there, and I explained my situation, and she really tried her best to get me on to speak to the commissioner, which she was unsuccessful. And she was like, I'm going to let you speak to the superintendent of CID. So I went back downstairs, and one of the officers was like, you come back again? And I was like, yes, I'll come back again. I spoke to the superintendent, and he really entered my feelings and how I was so stressed. And he called up his guys and to look for this guy. And I felt, boy, yeah, we're going to get something. And I was outside of CID. And while I was standing there, one of the officers came back and he was like, "We find him." And I felt like I sank deeper. Oh my God, nothing is coming out. People just make the remarks about the police station, and I just try keep the faith because I still feel like, there must be a way. And at that point, I felt like
hopeless.
Real hopeless. I said, so this boy, I could walk out the station here right now, and this boy could come and attack me from behind, and you're gonna see he mental, right? And I say, I am coming here to you, fearful of my life, not even for me, but for my child. And me hearing those kind of voice notes about my child is a serious nightmare. Like, I would watch movies about this and not know, like, there are people literally sick in their mind among us, living among us, and there is nothing you can do. I had to turn to one of the officers and I was like, do you have any children or you have any child? Because I felt like, I don't know if they sympathized with me after or what, or they were just doing the job, but there was no compassion. No, like, okay then, like, yeah, we know here, we go get here, and you understand? And I left the station and I say, you know what, I can't carry this tip on social media. I'm not, the only place I do post on social media is just my work or post. I don't really do social media, being like this. I never imagine myself going down this path. And I say again, post this day. And posting this, a lot of females, and I know it's the truth, because the area in which he would be stalking these young ladies are the areas that he would be. Somebody even told me that, he just be over partials looking through something, and I'm saying, like, the police know these and they're not doing anything about it. And what I'm really, like, traumatized about and tormented about is that this guy knows my every move. This is not a crazy person. He's not crazy because he looked for me on Facebook. He sent voice notes. He knows when I'm coming home, when I'm home alone. He even mentioned my sister. He hated my sister.
Because
why she doesn't follow with me.
I was gonna ask you a question. You mentioned earlier that he stalked your sister before all of this.
Yeah, he stalked my sister before all of this.
And she made reports and nothing came from it.
She made a report. Isn't it that this guy went to every family member, but like when he was unsuccessful, it's like, I don't know, he's just find me as a target. You understand? Because it was like, everybody was like all, thing, and like when he make his reports and he, not reports, when he would make his threats and everything, I would just ignore it. I was like, once he come to me, I could.
So there has never been a case where you and the police officer and this man were in the same room and then there was any form of discussion?
No, there was not. There was not.
So every time you made a report, they would just take your report and they would say they would deal with it. But you never got any confirmation from them, like, hey, we dealt with the situation. You give us a heads up if this person is bothering you again. None of that? And you're saying this has been happening since 2019?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I said, it would die down a while, and then it would just pick back up, like it would just flare up. Like I've never seen this person, but this person know exactly where I work. He know when to come and like check me. My mother, my father, everybody in my family would tell him, to leave me alone. When they see him now and then, and this guy is like so delusional. Like even last night he was like, "Oh, you killed somebody for me. I take care of your child since last night and since she's small." And
so he's contacted you since you made the post?
When I made the post,
I
was at my business place later in the afternoon, me and my daughter. But my coworker Marsha, she laid before me, and I just heard she like scream out my name. And then I was like, "Lord, what happened to Marsha?" And then when I go outside, this young lady said, "I saw you made a post on Facebook, and I just come in to tell you that the guy was up here." When I got downstairs now, because Marsha, like, I felt like something was wrong with her. She was like, "Look, the boy down here," and this boy was outside my workplace begging to talk to me. And so, while I was there, I was like real furious because I was like, "Why you wanted to talk to me?" My sister and this other guy was like, restraining me from going up there. And then my coworker like just ran after him because I would and she knows the whole story, and I would really go to her every minute, and we will talk about if my child father was still alive, that had never happened, and she run after him and run in the churchyard, Anglican churchyard, and then is when people will realize that this is the guy. And two SSU police officers, I don't know if they were in traffic or if somebody alerted them about the situation, but they came and they restrained him, and they searched his bag because he had a book bag, and they searched him, and they was like, leave it alone here, let me deal with it and stuff, because at that point we really had enough. And they put him in the truck and they carried him to CID. And then
go ahead.
And then I came home. With my daughter, I make sure that she was set, and then I just say, let me go back to CID and stuff. And when I went back, they say, because they want the one that deal with the case in the morning, I will have to come back today to deal with it, because the other teammates who gonna deal with it and stuff. But I am going because I really want to know, how this is going to be played out. And I'm really fearful of my life. I even made a post on Facebook and said, if anything happens to me or my child, this boy, Cat Kylie Richards, do it. You understand? Because I felt like something actually have to happen to me or my child, and then the police run around like headless chicken trying to find this guy. And I have to wait until, and it is so sad that I have to feel like this. I don't wish this feeling on nobody.
Because you're living in fear. You're wondering what could happen, when it could happen.
Yeah, what could happen, because there were instances where I was home alone. And I mean, while people are fearful of the community of shop, I'm not that fearful. Like, I could go sleep, and this guy is like, I know when you're home alone.
How do you sleep?
And when I hear that, I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like so traumatized. Like, I have to pray and ask God to, God, if you alone could fight this way for me. Me within myself, I can't make it.
Yeah,
I really have to seek God for myself, and my mother is a praying woman, and she was like, Sharika, we wrestling up against flesh and blood, and she would be constantly praying. She was like, the only thing I know how to do is pray. Let me pray. You understand? And while I know that God is able to deal with all this, it's just the trauma in which this whole thing happened, and how I went to a place of safety and to feel some kind of justice gonna happen, and like it's nothing. I can't even feel protected in my own space. This boy has invaded my whole space. I felt so violated when the police accessed my phone and had to, take off. But I just felt like, wow, like nobody should have to go through this. Like, what did I do to go through all this? Because, like, I don't know them kind of things, And it's not like to say, like, then the boy, people are commenting and saying, like, we probably had a relationship. Like, listen,
because I was gonna get to that.
Boy,
because you mentioned you didn't know you never had any conversations with him.
I never had any conversation. I know him because
he was
he's
never
my
with
neighbor.
any one of your family members.
Huh?
He was not with any one of your family members.
None of my family members.
So you know nothing about him.
Nothing.
You just know that he lives in the area.
Strike up. Yeah, this boy strike up, and I know it's 2019 because as soon as, well, it's not as soon as, like, few months after my child's father died, this boy, like he's possessed. The kind of thing that this boy was telling me when I went back to the CID and I saw him in the cell, and he was like, yo, I want to talk to you. And
Those were in front. Those were messages, or what?
No, I think in person.
In person?
Yeah, in person.
Wow.
The
Because
afternoon after
that
she
they
made
have
the
a
post.
cell. Yeah, so when I was walking back out, and I was like,
All
And we
right.
don't know them kind of people exist.
Let me ask you something at this point. What is your best case outcome? What do you want?
Pardon?
What do you want to happen now? What would
At this
make you feel
point,
comfortable, make you sleep better at night?
at this point, I want him to be locked up and put away.
Well, judging
Mm-hmm.
from hearing the responses, I don't think that
We'll see.
would be possible.
We'll see. We'll
But
see.
I know chances are they're gonna be like, I'm gonna carry him for an evaluation, and then he's gonna be back out because he told me. He said, "Listen to me." He was like, "You're going to press charges, Fluffy, you're going to press charges."
He's telling you that?
Yeah, he was like, "Don't press no charges there. When I come out, I will come look for you." Once like this guy, like literally, no. And I'm like, this is a crazy person. This guy knows how to look for me on Facebook, leave messages, leave. He ain't so gonna spelling, like sending me pictures. Like when he was messaging me and he didn't get me, he would send his angry face, and I'm like, crazy people that walk up and
I
down
think
and
you could look into getting a restraining order.
well, a restraining order doesn't come like that.
You would have to work within the
Yes.
confinements of the law, obviously,
Yes.
to get some resolution to it. And I really hope and pray that the matter is resolved in your best interest, in your child's best interest, and that it is resolved quickly. We're all here hoping and praying for the best outcome. We gotta wrap up now, though. Any final thoughts? Any words of encouragement to other ladies? Anything that you want to share with the listening audience?
I just want to say to the mothers, especially the single parents, and to the children, like, take nothing for granted. Even if somebody offer your children something, make sure you know who is giving your child stuff. Make sure you know everything, because like I said last night, this could have easily avoided. What if my child was a child where when somebody offer her something, she would just take it and eat it, because the thing is, that he used to sell outside of a school, so it's like he always had something to give these children. I don't know what he have gotten away with, and it makes me to believe, because it's like people start reaching out and saying, like, Sharika, I experienced something similar. People send me screenshot messages, pictures and things, but nobody never reported, because they were like, they don't know his right name. It's just one-on-one. They would just meet him up on a regular, and I am begging the parents to please be mindful of anybody that offer the children thing. Make sure to wise up your children not to take anything from anybody at all without them knowing. Make them aware of their surroundings so that they can feel safe, because trust me, while I know it does take a village, trust me, to each his own, and you have to protect your own.
Yes. Thank you so much for taking the time out with us, and all the best.
Thank you.
You have a good day. Hope all goes in your favor.
I'm praying.
Yes. Oh.
Another one. I don't even know where to start with my response to this. I am just at awe at so many different things. The fact that there's lack of empathy, there's lack of compassion. This is not to cast blame or make anybody feel guilty or bad, but ladies, please, if you find that somebody is harassing you, somebody's in your inbox, somebody's sending you messages, things are unusual, your feminine senses, your intuition is just not, it's just going off like something is off, report it. The least that they could do, or the most, if they cannot find something to charge somebody, to charge the individual, at least they can give the person a warning. Sometimes that is all it takes. Give the person a warning. Ladies and gentlemen, parents, guardians, caretakers, talk to your children. You realize, though, a cupcake, a simple cupcake.
Yeah, you need to be very careful. Tell your children don't take things from strangers.
Strangers alone,
No,
people
not
you
even
know.
that. Exactly.
Don't take nothing from nobody. And if you get something and they force it to you, tell me everything. Ladies, you gotta learn to protect yourself, you know. You have to learn to protect yourself. If it is that you have to learn some self-defense, go to some self-defense classes, get somebody to sponsor you to take up some self-defense classes. If you feel unsafe, if you live in a particular neighborhood, if you know that there's somebody who you feel has been harassing you from time and time again,
And you went to the proper channels and you're not getting any positive feedback from them, you know?
government, please, for God's sake, please hurry up with the sexual harassment bill. You gave us the assurance that there was something in the pipeline. Hurry up. If somebody is stalking a young lady, and it has happened time and time again, if a man is out there stalking a woman, how does the law protect that woman? A warning? You have to wait until something actually happens, until an assault, rape, or murder? Please, for the sake of the women and children, make haste. This is frightening. Could you imagine somebody in your inbox sending you cannot sleep at night?
In your neighborhood. They're telling you your whereabouts, what you're doing, when you're coming in. Like a surveillance camera, keeping tabs on you. Oh. I really hope the authorities don't wait until something happens before they take action. This is a problem that could be
Well,
solved.
they're doing something.
Yeah, I really hope they put their foot down.
Doing something, but you see, when it comes to stalking,
There's so
I
much.
looked through a bit of Jamaica's Sexual Harassment Act of 2021, and there's a part of it here that says stalking or cyber stalking: obsessively following, besetting, contacting, and watching a person either in person or using the internet, telephone, mail, and other media, just in case you didn't know, which is motivated by what the perpetrator believes are feelings of desire and love, constitute sexual harassment. These things are really upsetting. They are disheartening. Other women and children are experiencing the very same thing. Ladies, you need to speak up. Speak up, report it. Have it on the books at least. At least. Speak up. Please, for God's sake, do not take things for granted. You see, this woman came out, and the amount of women that ran into her inbox and said, yes,
They have similar.
I know.
They have similar experience.
First instance, report it. I think that's all I have to say, because if I risk I'm gonna go down our kind of road this morning, and I think I've had enough of going down them kind of roads this morning. We have some responses on the Facebook.
Yes, we have a few. Someone is recommending that she gets a security camera system and look into a legal firearm.
Gotta invest in protecting myself.
Someone is also saying that parents need to tell their children to stop taking things from strangers.
Strangers need to leave children alone.
And majority of the comments that are coming in here saying they're sympathizing with her. They could only imagine how she feels. It's actually living in fear.
Let's head to a break and come right back. If you want to drop a comment or call us, you can call us when we come back. 457-1043, 430-1043 is the WhatsApp number, by the way. Voice notes and messages are welcome.